Hello and welcome to today's episode of Ask the Guitar Coach. Here is our question. Do I have to learn how to compose music to become an electric guitar player? This is actually a really good question, and the answer is it depends on several things. So let's see which are those specific things that it depends on. So let's see, if you actually want to have some kind of creative output to write your own music, then you absolutely definitely need to learn some composition. It doesn't have to be classical composition. You don't need to necessarily follow a classical composition class, but you do have to work on it somehow. And to give you a story from back my college days, I did all my composition studies with Carl Schroeder, an amazing keyboard player in GIT, and he explained to us all the different compositional elements by using Beatles songs. So, songs from the Beatles. All the examples were taken by the Beatles. However, if you don't really care about writing your own music, then the idea that if you have to do it will depend on the style of music that you want to play. There are specific expectations depending on the style of music that you play that dictate on whether you should be able to create your own music or not. So let's start with blues music. In blues music and even in jazz music, you don't necessarily have to create your own music, to make your own compositions. There are several artists that do not compose their own music. They keep playing the jazz standards or the blues standards without anybody thinking any less of them. Since the emphasis on both jazz and blues music is on improvisation, and improvisation is spontaneous composition, there's no necessary reason, it's not essential to write your own composition. You can use the composition of other people, famous artists, famous songs, as vehicles for your improvisations. So if you're playing jazz or blues music, you don't necessarily have to write your own. Let's go to pop music now. If you're in a pop music band, you definitely don't have to write your own music unless the band as a whole writes its own music, because it's quite possible to be in a pop band that plays cover songs and never has to write its own music. So if this is the case, don't worry about it. But if you are in a pop band that creates original music, then maybe you will have to learn this skill. Once again, it's not essential, because in several cases, especially if it's like some kind of boy band or girl band, the people that write the music are outside the band. That means songwriters that are not members of the band. However, this will depend on the specific case. We will have to see it on a case-by-case basis. Finally, let's move on to rock and metal music. Now here, the things are a little bit more difficult, and if you play rock or metal guitar, I will have to disappoint you, because unless you're playing in a cover band, it's pretty much expected that you will be creating your own music, which means that you have to develop your composition skills in some way. In opposition with pop music, that someone else might write the music, in rock and metal, it is not, let's say, accepted by your fan base that someone else outside the band will write your music. That means that when a fan becomes a fan of a specific band, when a person becomes a fan of a specific band, they don't just care about the performance of the songs, but they also care about the band actually expressing itself through those songs and having composed those songs. So if you belong to a rock or metal band, to make things simple, you should probably learn how to compose music, unless, as I said before, you guys are only a cover band that plays top 40 or just some rock songs in a bar or something like that. But if you want to have a career in music, in anything else but a rock cover band, then you should be able to compose. So there you have it. This is pretty much what you should know on whether you need composition skills or not, depending on different kinds of music. As you can see, it is highly dependent on the specific style. So I hope this helps and it gives you a clear idea on how to proceed. Once again, for some reason, I see in your question that you seem to be scared of music composition, and that may be because you have an idea that you need to take like 6 years of music theory on how to compose music to learn to do it like properly, and this is really not the case. But also it's not the point of this specific video. So I hope I answered this question to your satisfaction. I hope this helps everybody else watching this video, and I'll see you on the next episode of Ask the Guitar Coach. Bye bye.